Estate planning attorneys, are you frustrated that your educational presentations aren't translating into new clients consistently? What if I told you that I can teach you how to consistently convert 33% or more? We do actually like to see a 50% conversion rate as our benchmark of your presentation attendees into paying clients, with fees ranging from $4,500 to $6,500 on average, without being pushy or salesy. Here's the thing, it's not magic. It's a proven formula. Hi, I'm Allie Katz, founder of New Law Business Model and personal family lawyer. And in this video, I'm going to reveal our winning presentation formula, a straightforward, replicatable approach that has helped thousands of lawyers transform their expertise into profitable client relationships. Plus, at the end of this training, I'm going to tell you how you can get free access to our proprietary slide deck and script that will show you the exact formula that over 600 of our paying member lawyers are currently using right now in their own communities. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, many estate planning attorneys think that giving educational presentations will automatically generate lots of new clients. I thought that too. But after investing hours crafting their talk, all they hear is, "Thank you, that was so helpful." "Oh, I really need to get that taken care of," followed by crickets. No appointments booked, no new clients coming on board. And yep, that's exactly what happened to me. I went out on my own in 2003, just after my second child was born, and figured, well, I could just speak my way to plenty of paying clients. If I just educated people in my community, they would hire me, right? But I quickly discovered that while I could educate people in my community, I was actually marketing for my competition because of how I was doing it. See, I'd get rave reviews, thank yous, and yeah, I need to get that handled, I'll follow up. And then I'd see them around town some months later, only to find out, yep, they got it handled, but with someone else. Heartbreaker, right? There is nothing worse than marketing for your competition. As the breadwinner in my family with 2 little kids at home, I could not afford to be wasting my time and energy giving presentations that would send clients to my competition and not to my own practice. So I committed to figuring this out for myself and for my family. And then when I did, I promised to teach it so that no lawyer would ever have to go through what I did again. The truth is, not all presentations are created equal when it comes to actually bringing in business. You need the right scripting and structure to turn those rave reviews into revenue for you. And that's where our speaking formula comes in. See, we've reverse engineered what the top speakers and entrepreneurs do to sell from the stage and consistently convert attendees to clients. And many lawyers are making critical mistakes that cost them potential business, and you may be too. Focusing too much on proving your expertise or educating versus inspiring action. Giving away way too much free advice so that you seem smart. Not making a clear offer or call to action because you don't want to be salesy or pushy. Neglecting post-event follow-up because you don't have systems to do it. If any of that sounds familiar, don't worry. Just about every personal family lawyer firm leader who works with us today was in the exact same boat once upon a time. So was I. Today, though, once they've implemented our proven speaking system, the one that I learned through trial and error, testing, proving over the past nearly 20 years, well, they start landing at minimum 33% of their attendees as clients. That's a minimum, at an average fee between $4,500 and $6,500 each. And as I mentioned, we really like to see a 50% benchmark of conversion. The best part, you do not need to become a pushy salesperson or even a celebrity speaker. It's about following a straightforward structure that positions you as the expert, the trusted authority, and then clearly inviting the next steps to engage with you. And they do, because you have a system and a process that makes it easy. And if they don't right away, well, you have the automation and/or team support to follow up. As a result, you get all the clients you need, ready to engage you at averages, as we said, of $4,500 to $6,500 or even more. But here's the best part. You're booked out for weeks into the future. That's the dream result from a presentation, right? So let me walk you through exactly how it works. It's called the NewLaw Winning Presentation Formula. It's only 4 steps, and if you use it, our goal is for you to have 50% of the people that you talk to book a planning session, and to have the people who don't meet with you know exactly what their next steps are so that you become known as the expert that they refer to, whether they work with you or not. And the right people will come in and meet with you and engage your services at those fees I mentioned earlier, between $4,500 and $6,500, because of your process and system. Now, let me be clear about one thing before you grab a pen and start writing all of this down. Some of your fees are going to be $2,500. Some of your fees are going to be $8,500. What we're talking about here is average fees from a planning session, because you're helping your clients choose your own fee. We'll talk about that in another video. But for this one, grab a pen and paper right now and write this down. Here's your steps. Step number 1, hook your audience and build connection through your firm story. In this step, you'll spend 1 to 5 minutes at the beginning of your presentation introducing yourself and sharing what we call your firm story, or also your transformation story. Now, this is crucial for establishing your unique authority and framing the value of what you'll be teaching, plus creating what we call a category of 1 for your expertise. One of the biggest mistakes that lawyers make here is just lecturing information to the audience the entire time. If you're doing this, you'll notice people's attention start to drift. They're scrolling their phone. They look disengaged. Well, this virtually guarantees you to get 0 results. But a firm story brings people in, and it's a powerhouse story with 3 parts to illustrate your transformational journey. This firm story with 3 parts teaches your audience, through the entertaining medium of storytelling, who you are, the value of how you serve your community, and what your law practice does differently and how you do it differently and why you do it differently. Here's an example. Our lawyers are able to share how they left behind the non-desirable aspects of the old way of practicing law, like hourly billing, non-responsiveness, drafting documents that got forgotten on a shelf or in a drawer and don't actually help families stay out of court in a conflict. But then they found their point of transformation. And now, as personal family lawyer firms, their clients get to choose their own fees, all flat fees, so there's no surprises, everything agreed to in advance. There's no worry of getting billed in 6-minute increments, which allows for ongoing communication. Our lawyers share how their business model allows them to be more responsive and have a team in place to be able to support, or if they don't have a team in place, the systems that they've created for responsiveness, so that they can be available to their clients, and ultimately how they've put in place systems to ensure that their plans actually will work to keep their clients' families out of court and out of conflict, because their plans get regularly reviewed and updated instead of put on a shelf or in a drawer and never looked at again. We have another in-depth training on crafting your firm story, your transformational story, that you can dive into in more detail. But for now, after you've spent 1 to 5 minutes delivering your firm story, that brings us then to step 2. Help your audience to self-identify. In the next 10 to 30 minutes of your presentation, you'll weave in 2 to 3 key stories that bring to life the problems that individuals and families face without proper legal planning. For example, story 1, the truth about what actually happens when someone dies without a will and the costs or hassles that their loved ones deal with. Story number 2, real-life examples of how assets can get drained by lawsuits, remarriages without safeguards in place, and more. Story 3, how a lack of planning or a lack of updated planning over time can create irreparable family conflicts and destroy relationships. These stories should be designed to help the attendees self-identify whether their family is at risk and therefore they need your legal services. As you share these stories, attendees should be working with a worksheet or an index card or a workbook that they will turn in to you before leaving. Even if they don't book an appointment with you at the presentation, the key is that they turn this worksheet into you. We call it the Purple Worksheet because in my office it was purple because that was our brand color, but it doesn't have to be purple, of course. We just call it that. And it serves 2 key purposes. It creates engagement during the presentation by giving your attendees something to focus on besides just listening or reading your brochure. Most importantly, and this is critical, it ensures you collect their information after the event so that your team member can follow up with them afterwards. This is critical. You don't want to give them information to take home that's going to get shoved in the bottom of their bag or put on their desk for follow-up. It's never going to happen. Instead, they need to give you their information so that you are in control of the follow-up. By clearly illustrating these scenarios and getting your audience to work with your Purple Worksheet, you'll have them nodding along, realizing, oh, I need to handle this, which sets you up perfectly for the next step. And that is step 3, the compelling offer. The final 15 minutes of your presentation is making a compelling offer that converts a portion of your audience, minimum of 33%, ideally 50% of more. Some of our lawyers even have a 100% conversion rate into signed clients on the spot. Now, they're not signing up exactly on the spot to pay you then. They're going through a process where they're going to take the next step to come in and meet with you so that you can be clear and help them be clear on exactly what they need and at what price is right for them. And in order to do that, you need a powerful offer. We call ours a life and legacy planning session. Now, this breaks down into 3 parts. You share the benefits and deliverables of working with your firm and how this solves their problems and gets them the desired outcomes and results that they want. And you extend the clear call to action and create urgency or a reason for them to come in right away that's going to drive motivated prospects to raise their hand right there and then and take action. You make it tangible by laying out the simple next steps to get started with you immediately after the presentation. A common mistake that lawyers make is failing to make a clear, compelling offer or leaving attendees unsure of how to move forward. It feels wishy-washy, uncertain, unclear. What's my next step? Even worse, some offer an estate plan, a set of documents, or a free meeting. The problem with these is that it does not clearly articulate the value of your premium service. The way that you make this offer is so crucial because it 100% impacts whether they'll end up hiring you or whether they just want free legal advice. And unfortunately, the offer is what most lawyers get wrong. So what we teach, and remember, you can reference this in more detail in the proven presentation deck and script I'm about to tell you how you can get access to. So we teach our member lawyers to deliver this powerful invitation this way. When you schedule your next step with us today for a planning session, and you commit to completing your homework, an inventory of what you own, what's most important to you before your scheduled appointment, and you turn that in 3 days before so that I can review it, I will not only waive your initial appointment fee, but I'm going to credit you $250 towards your planning. That's a $1,000 gift of services to inspire and encourage you to do what you came here to do anyway. And then, just as important as the invitation, we teach our lawyers to clearly lay out all of the next steps by saying, now, here's how you claim that $1,000 of legal services. Step 1, complete your Purple Worksheet with your name, your address, your phone number, and your email. Now, this might seem really basic that you have to walk people through that, but you do. That's how you get them to actually do the work. You tell them to do it. Step number 2, go to the back of the room and hand that worksheet to Susan. Susan was the name of my client services director, and choose a date and time for your appointment that's far enough out to get your homework done and completed, because that's your ticket to the meeting with me without having to pay for it and getting $250 towards your planning. And then step 3, secure your appointment date and time and your commitment to complete your homework with your credit card. Nothing will be charged on your credit card unless you decide not to do the homework and you want to have me do it with you in the meeting, in which case you can pay for the meeting, no problem. If you have questions, come to the back of the room and I'll answer them there. And then you walk to the back of the room while they're booking their appointment times and answer any questions that are needed. Remember, you are doing yourself and your prospects a disservice if you're not helping your attendees to take the next steps from your presentations. The goal is engagement. Your attendees should not have anything in front of them except the Purple Worksheet or a workbook that achieves the same purpose. They turn that in to make sure they get their questions answered or to take the next step. In some cases, at least 33 to 50% of the time, maybe even up to 100% of the time, they'll sign up for a session with you on the spot. And in other cases, maybe they're not quite ready to do that, so they'll just hand in their worksheet. Now, while I don't have time here to fully explain how to address each instance, this is something we help our members to clarify in detail. And it is the most important part of your whole presentation. It should not be skipped. No matter what, or you'll get rave reviews, but no clients. So this leads us to the final step, and this is step 4. Follow up, follow up, follow up. The final and most critical step in the winning presentation formula is your consistent strategic follow-up. Implementing diligent follow-up will help you maximize your conversions over time. So after collecting those purple worksheets, your team member, we call it your client services director or perhaps your intake outreach coordinator, depending on how big your team is and which practice model you're building, will call all of the attendees afterwards. When I first learned this strategy, I handed my client services director my purple worksheets and she called everybody afterwards. And then some weeks later, I had learned that we should be actually following up over time. And I went back to her and I said, hey, Susan, remember all of those purple worksheets that I've given you from all of those talks that I've done? She looked at me and she said, yes. And I said, okay, great. Well, now we need to keep following up with them. Her eyes got wide. She said, I did follow up with them. And then she threw away the worksheets. Well, don't make that same mistake. See, because only between 3 to 25% of the people that you meet with are ready to hire you the first time they meet you. Now, we can increase that to 33 to 50% when you're doing your presentation the way that we teach. But that leaves a number of people who may not yet be ready to move forward. Those people need to get put on what we call your house list, so that you can follow up consistently with a weekly email newsletter and a monthly special offer and invitations to future events that encourage them to come in and get started. What we've found is that when our lawyers put in place their weekly email newsletter, they have consistent clients coming in from the pipeline that they've built over time. In fact, one of our lawyers, after sending out her email newsletter for 10 years, had somebody come back in with all of those newsletters gathered and say, okay, I'm finally ready now. When you put everything together, you transform speaking from an unpredictable, maybe you're going to get clients, into a sustainable client pipeline. You deliver a presentation that is structured to guide your audience to see you as the trusted advisor with the solution to their needs. A portion of your most motivated prospects, 33 to 50%, sometimes all of them, will raise their hand and convert into new clients on the spot. You'll systematically follow up to convert the rest of the folks who aren't ready right away over the coming weeks, months, or even the next 10 years. This allows you to predictably fill your calendar with new business, maximize your return on investment from each one of your speaking engagements, and continue stacking revenue month over month so you have a sustainable business that you can count on for the rest of your career. Okay, so now the part that you've been waiting for. This is our version of step 3, as I've shared above, our compelling offer for you to take the next steps with us and get our support to help you implement all of this in your law practice so you don't need to reinvent the wheel, go it alone, or have to go to the great expense of trialing and erroring on something that I've spent the last 20 years perfecting for you. If you want to get free access to the proven deck and script that our personal family lawyer firm leaders are using right now to consistently convert 33% or more of their presentation attendees into paying clients with fees ranging from $4,500 to $6,500 on average, without being pushy or salesy, your next step is to apply for a call with a law business advisor to learn about our personal family lawyer program and the path to PFL, and to discover if it's right for you. And our law business advisor is going to determine whether we can support you to build your law practice into a business that you love with our proprietary methods and our differentiated service model more quickly and affordably than if you were going to go it alone. When you book that call and come to that call prepared in the way that we're going to ask you to do, and you keep that call, well, we're going to give you our deck and script to review. We make this next step a requirement because you can only use our proprietary deck and script as is once you're part of our personal family lawyer program. Otherwise, you can view it purely for inspiration. Now, not everyone qualifies for this no-cost call. You only get to meet with a law business advisor if you're a lawyer who is open to serving families and/or business owners in a brand new way, using what we call life and legacy planning. It's our heart-centered, counseling-based service methodology for estate planning, where you get hired more than 80% of the time. That's our minimum benchmark, though many of our lawyers have a near 100% or even 100% engagement rate and earn on average between, as we said, $4,500 to $6,500 per client, while delivering a truly meaningful service to clients who are more than happy to pay for it, and where you don't get competed with by AI, cheap legal, financial advisors, legal insurance plans. Now, in order for this to be the case, you have to be ready to invest in creating systems to turn your law practice into a business so that you can deliver on a truly outstanding service that your community and clients deserve. And you need to hold yourself to the highest standards of integrity and make your client's success your top priority. If that sounds like you, we invite you to type formula into the comments below to find out if you do qualify for a no-cost call with one of our law business advisors. Our team will reach out, and if you do qualify, they'll help you schedule your call, and once you have your call, you'll receive the proven deck and script for your review. And that's the case whether you join us on the path to PFL or not. I've spent nearly 20 years developing and perfecting this winning presentation formula. We're giving you the proven deck and script to give you a glimpse behind the scenes on how we support our personal family lawyer firm leaders to turn their law practices into businesses they absolutely love as the go-to lawyer for families in their communities. And this is just a tiny part of the way that we help. So once again, if you'd like to find out if you qualify for a no-cost call with a law business advisor, comment formula below. And better yet, if you want to book that call on your own, just look for the link on this page, click it, book your call, see if you qualify for a call with a law business advisor. Don't wait for us to contact you. Take action, take control of your life, book that call with a law business advisor now. And if you qualify, you'll get on that call with your law business advisor and get our proven script and our deck presentation that you can view to see exactly how we script out the presentation and exactly what it looks like as you consider whether the path to PFL is right for you. So you can either type formula here and wait for our team to reach out, or better yet, just find that link on the page, whether it's in the comments or here on the screen, and click that link and book your call, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the other side.